a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
Welcome to The Bits, hosted by your favorite jam buds, Charlie.
And Robert.
Hey, Robert, you want to go to the future and meet my boy Zoltron?
This is usually why I do the joke and you don't.
Wow!
It's a segue, at least, into talking about Season 4, Episode 5 of Steven Universe, Future Boy Zoltron, which premiered September 1st, 2016. But before we get started, Charlie, did the postman bring us any posts?
Postman did not bring us any post this week. So sad. Horrible.
I can't believe they shot Jamie.
Oh no. You know what y'all should do is that the next, not you, Robert, the listeners should send mail asking about your lovely trip that you're going on.
Yeah, by the time this episode goes out, I will have been back from my trip for a while, and I also got engaged. So, you know.
But still, everybody should ask about it so that they know what happened, because this is recorded before that. So
the next episode, to break the immersion a little bit, will also be recorded before I go on that trip. So, you know, extra time.
Extra time. Everybody ask Robert how it feels to be engaged.
I feel engaged.
Engaged. Ayo. Yeah. As I said before recording this episode, I feel like I don't have an excuse for why this one exists. Like, I want somebody who's smarter than me to explain what it does for Steven's development and or the world building, because it doesn't to me. And I feel like most episodes of Steven at least do something for the world building or the development of the characters. And Mr. Smiley is sadly not a character that I feel like needs development.
No.
Because he doesn't do a whole lot.
He has one bit and we stick to it.
Yeah. It tells you something about Mr. Smiley, but we've already gotten several things about Mr. Smiley. He does all the work and all of Funland and the arcade and the wrestling. And he used to be an R&B star and an actor. And yeah, he does everything. This is also the episode where he's gay. So is it gay? It's for the gay, I guess.
Maybe it is. Who's to say? But I suppose we can just start talking about the episode, which begins at Beach City Walk Fries, where Steven's having a conversation with Petey. And then their attention gets diverted to the Funland arcade because Mr. Smiley sets up a machine. It is the Zoltron machine. And one of my favorite movies of all time is Big, where the Zoltar machine has like a very prominent plot device. So anything Zoltron, Zoltar, anything that's like, oh, this is a little device that predicts the future, I'm like happy about it. I think it's funny.
Yeah, it is very cute. I still have not seen Big. I think I've seen like maybe a few moments of it on TV before, but I've not seen the full movie. But I know it's a very important one that people talk about.
Definitely one of those movies that you watch where you're like, ah, yes, being young is fun.
It certainly is. Wish I was young again. Can we make it the sequel to Big called Small?
Where it's an adult that gets turned back into a kid?
Yeah. It'll be just as creepy.
I'm like 90% sure there's a movie where the premise is an adult gets turned into a kid. And I can't remember.
Again.
Yes, there we go. Zac Efron. I was like, I know it's on the fucking tip of my tongue.
Yeah, it's absolutely 17 again. But he doesn't need one of these machines. Segue. This machine decides to be like, I can see your future because I've been there. I'm so cool. Ooh, Future Boy Zoltron.
Steven inserts a quarter and asks if he will ever get a fancy kazoo that he's always wanted. And Zoltron doesn't answer clearly. He just responds with the 3 lucky numbers, 16, 47, and W, which is not a number.
I love that. That is very charming. It is not worth a quarter, but it is charming. So, but this is another way for Mr. Smiley to make money at his many, many jobs. Why does this man need more things?
He's a man of many talents. Steven inserts another quarter and asks why Mr. Smiley quit comedy. The robot doesn't respond. Steven's like tapping on it, being like, come on, come on.
Yeah.
But then he accidentally knocks over the robot with his super strength, which shatters it to pieces.
Steven, I love it. He's just like, I gave it a little tap. A little tap! Steven, you have super strength and you need to understand that. And it's like Superman. He lives in a world of glass. So you need to be careful with what you do. But yeah, Mr. Smiley mentioned that he used to do comedy and he tried to make Steven laugh. Oh, that's the whole plot of the episode is Mr. Smiley was a comedian.
Yeah, Steven's like, please, it was an accident. I'll do anything I can to make up for it. I just don't want to get banned from one of your many fine establishments. And so Mr. Smiley's like, hey, Steven, don't you have a really good robot impression? I have an idea. And so he dresses Steven up as the Zoltron robot and sits him in the booth. I find this so stupid but so hilarious.
It is such a stupid premise for a Steven episode.
Yeah.
But also, this is so charming because I love what Steven does with this. Immediately, who shows up but our favorite comedy duo, Lars and Sadie. Lars is like, oh, I don't want to go to work today. Do we have to go to work? Sadie's like, yeah, we should. Steven, every time somebody starts walking by, Steven's like, making the robot noises so that they
Beep,
come
boop,
closer.
bop.
They come looking over, spend their money.
I love how this is a really sloppily put together outfit, but still Sadie and Lars don't recognize that it's Steven.
No, they don't. I mean, Lars, to be honest, didn't recognize that Steven was Tiger Millionaire either. So,
oh, true. And that was even less of a disguise.
I think Lars is face blind. Sadie does not have an excuse.
No.
So they ask it if they should go to work.
Yeah, and Steven/Zoltron responds with that Lars doesn't like to admit it, but he likes to do a good job, and letting people depend on him warms his heart, and that Sadie likes to take charge, and she will still be very impressed with all of Lars's efforts. They're both freaked out because they're like, wait, how do you know our names? And then they're like, let's just go to work.
Yay, they went to work! The answer was yes, go to work.
The Big Donut is open today.
The Big Donut is open today. If they didn't go to work, it would not be open. They're the only 2 employees. Hey, what does Steven do with this? He decides to give everybody good advice. And we love that. But also he's stealing their money because that's his job here today. Although he does give away a freebie to Onion.
Yeah, Onion's about to run in with a crowbar. He's like, Zoltron sees prison bars in your future. And then Onion reconsiders and walks away. And you're like, oh, Onion learned a lesson. And he did, because he came back with the ski mask on.
Onion is gonna see prison bars in his future.
I have very famously said that if you don't get caught, you didn't break the law. Which actually, there's a content creator I like who just like posts bar exam questions. And one of those questions I was like, the answer should be that there is no punishment because this person didn't get caught by the police according to the question. And so I messaged my sister who's a lawyer. I'm like, hey, does the bar exam assume the people did the crime in each question or what? And she's like, no, you're supposed to read the question as it is. And I'm like, okay, so reading the question as it is, nobody caught this person. So ergo, she should not be getting in trouble.
There you go. There you go. Just don't get caught. Do anything you want. Just don't get caught. You heard it here first on the bits. Absolutely. Totally. Great advice, Robert. Zoltron gives better advice because next up we have the pizzas, Kiki and Jenny, who want their own rooms. Mm-hmm. And Zoltron's like, yes, you should have your own rooms. Of course, you're both right. And Nanafwa is like, oh, wow. And Dad is just like, no. Even better advice than that is the advice that Zoltron gives to Buck. Because I agree with this. Buck has this fancy jacket that he just bought, and it has a big stain on the elbow. And Zoltron's like, no, you don't need to worry about that stain. You make anything look cool. And Buck's like, yeah, I do. I'm super awesome. Love it. We also get the Frymans, And Zoltron tells, I think it's specifically Ronaldo, that like, even though your father seems stuck in his ways, he really loves you. Yay! And so Steven's making a difference in everyone's lives. Mr. Smiley is like, as long as you're making money, I don't care.
Steven's here to help. Steven's here to help.
Help Steven.
This mysterious man who's standing at the edge of the boardwalk, who goes over to Steven and inserts a quarter, he dejectedly asks if it's a mistake to come to Beach City, and Steven hesitates to answer before eventually replying that it was a mistake, and Funland is for all ages.
Because Steven has no idea who this man is and can't give him real advice.
Yeah. The man inserts another quarter, and he's like, well, talking to him make a difference, and Steven's not sure, and he says that human emotions are really complicated for Zoltron. Same, buddy, same.
Yeah, that's such a mood. And then lastly... What does he ask? He says the lucky numbers because he's just
the third quarter goes in and the man asks if he drives away everyone around him. And since Steven doesn't know what to say, he just says the lucky numbers that Zoltron gave earlier, 1647W. The man tries to use his last quarter, but then it slips out of his hand, but then it falls through a gap in the boardwalk. And the way it was animated to fall, I'm like, oh, this is so stupid.
Yeah, it literally doesn't even go on its side. It's just...
No. Whatever, moving on. Nobody cares. He sighs. He's like, not even the coins want to be around me. And then he leaves because he's sad about it.
This poor man.
Yeah. Steven feels bad and he wishes he had future vision like Garnet so he would know what to tell the man. And then Garnet just shows up.
Yeah. Garnet just knew. And Steven's like, so Garnet, I need your future vision to help this man I don't even know. And Garnet's like, that seems like a perfectly logical reason to use my future vision. Absolutely, I will give it to you. Kisses him. Magic stuff. Try to be home in time for dinner.
She goes to the strange man, tells him Zoltron is ready to answer your question, and gives him a quarter before walking away.
He's just like eyes wide, like, what the fuck? Who? Huh? How?
Yeah, again, I'm forgetting that people don't know the crystal gems. It's funny. So he walks by and he's like, what would he say if he saw me now? He puts in the quarter, and Steven uses the future vision and sees 3 potential futures. He says he would be happy to see him. The man will think he's lying. Because no one's ever happy to see him. The second option is to tell him it's been too long, and the man is like, oh shoot, I should have come sooner. And the third option is like Steven says he doesn't know, and that he's just a boy in a costume, which prompts the man to say everything in his life is disappointment. And then so Steven says none of those options and just says he sees sadness in your future.
No matter what you do. Like, this poor guy, Mr. Frowny, as we learn, and he starts talking dejectedly about his past, like, because the curtain really did close on Mr. Smiley and Mr. Frowny. And Steven's like, oh, okay. It's the comedian guy who worked with Mr. Smiley. I know what's happening. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and pretend I'm still a robot and find Mr. Smiley later. Because the man leaves, and then, okay, we know who this other man is who comes to see Steven. I want to say Suitcase Sam. There we go. Very, very bit part in the episode, but I will never forget this line because Steven's like, Zoltron says, that's a question for your doctor. Suitcase Sam, why are you asking this random machine? Go to the doctor, please.
Go to the doctor. And also, that's just for our listeners out there. If you have a health thing you've been putting off for a while, go see a doctor. That's fun.
I went to the doctor last week. It's a good idea, everybody.
And did the doctor say you're okay?
No.
Rip, Charlie's dying. Charlie has 2 months to live.
It's okay. I'll be fine. Everything is good. I'm getting meds.
Oh, shit.
All right, so Mr. Smiley comes to see Steven, how he's doing. Steven's like, wait, Mr. Frowny was here. You guys had an act. You should go see him because, like, he was really sad and he didn't really seem very funny and he wanted to talk to you, I think. You should go talk to him. And Mr. Smiley, oh my god, he's so sad about this other man. Robert, I don't know if you've been listening to my other podcast, but this is the old man Yowie.
I don't know if you've been listening to my other podcast, but I'm also very familiar with Old Man Yowie.
Everybody is talking about Old Man Yowie on podcasts. That's the secret. Because Mr. Smiley's like, I couldn't ever make him, like, smile or laugh. And, just like, not even me, not even I could make him happy. That's so depressing. It was supposedly the bit that they had going because, Smiley and Frowny. Haha.
Like the comedy mask and the tragedy mask.
Yeah, exactly. So Steven also sees the future of what would happen if Mr. Smiley went to go see Frowny.
By the way, I do like this like visualization of Steven quickly going through 3 different possible futures. And so the first one is that
Funny running into you, and Frowny's like, "Oh, I'm still a punchline, aren't I?" And then Mr. Smiley's like, "Wow, you look great." Frowny's like, "That's your best joke yet." And lastly, he just says hi, and Frowny's like, "Is that all you have to say?" And once again we get a big X through it every single time. And now Steven's like, "There's only sadness, no matter what you do." Mr. Smiley does not know that he has the special future vision or anything, though. So he just thinks Steven's putting on an act for him. But he does ask what bus Mr. Frowny was going on. And then he starts running. He's running down the street.
Run to him before he leaves.
Okay.
So he goes, and Mr. Frowny asks Mr. Smiley if he's here to just laugh at him, and Mr. Smiley replies that he wanted their act to work, but notes that none of it was making Mr. Frowny happy. Mr. Frowny is like, he wanted him to take it seriously, and Mr. Smiley responds that he just wanted him to have fun. And Mr. Frowny concludes that it was never going to work out, but thought they really had something. Old man Yowie, I love it.
And then they do their little bit about like, "Oh, it's raining outside. Why didn't you use an umbrella? You must have been shocked." And Steven's like, "Oh my god, this is how they used to do their act. They're so cute together." And finally, Smiley makes Frowny laugh. He ruins the bit.
He ruined the bit. How do you ruin the bit on the bits? Damn.
Wow. But he gives him a good hug and then he leaves. And I'm sad that he still leaves. Like, genuinely, this episode does give me emotions because, damn, they're gay. They're just fucking gay.
Steven is happy that he's like, "Oh, my debt is paid." And Mr. Smiley is like, "That Zoltron machine costs thousands of dollars." And the episode ends with Steven predicting that he has cramped legs in his future as the iris closed on Steven's foot.
Me too, bro. That does not seem like fun. No siree. But Robert.
Hey, Charlie.
Should we go to the Crystal Temple?
For some Crystal Temple trivia?
This episode's name was revealed in the episode listing on the Toon Zone website.
What the fuck is Toon Zone?
We swapped it up today. It's not Cartoon Network website, it's Toon Zone.
2 concepts from an episode writing game would later become this episode, as revealed in Steven Universe or Art and Origins. The 2 ideas were in an episode involving Mr. Smiley reconciling with an old friend from his comedy days, and another about Steven telling fortunes from a crystal ball in an episode called The Beach City Witch Project, which, okay, I see the reference.
The Blair Witch Project?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also in Steven Universe Art and Origins, concept for the episode detailed that Mr. Smiley and Mr. Frowny were written to be in a relationship with notes mentioning they were clearly lovers.
Old Man Yowie confirmed. And now for cultural references, the episode's title is a reference to the anime series Future Boy Conan, which Rebecca Sugar has cited as one of her main influences for the show, along with the anime cartoon franchise of Voltron.
The title is likely a reference to the Zoltar brand of fortune teller machines, one of which was prominently featured in the 1988 film Big.
Mr. Smiley and Mr. Frowny's act could represent the 2 theater mask symbols associated with drama, the 2 masks representing the traditional generic division between comedy and tragedy.
Future Boy Zoltron's design may be based on Japanese superheroes such as Ultraman, particularly in his 80s head design, Space Iron Man Kyoden, based on the color scheme, or Jumborg Ace.
Inside the Funland arcade, an arcade machine of Attack the Light is seen in the background. What? I didn't even catch that. Oh, that's so good. Another machine has the name OKKO, a reference to Ian Jones Cordy's animated series of the same name. The OKKO cabinet features the series' preliminary logo design, with the Let's Be Heroes text more simple and aligned underneath the blue triangle. There's also a machine with the name Zone of Adventure, a reference to the actual play podcast, The Adventure Zone.
And now for Charlie's favorite section.
Continuity.
This is the 3rd episode where Garnet kisses Steven's forehead and gives him temporary future vision. The first 2 were Winter Forecast and Jailbreak.
Steven mentions that he does not want to be banned from another one of Mr. Smiley's businesses, referencing his ban from all the Funland rides in Serious Steven.
Now for our Pearl Points. You giving your Pearl Points too. I have to give my Pearl Point to the original Zoltron machine that Steven fucking, Falcon punched and destroyed. R.I.P. my boy.
That truly is a little guy, but I think I have to give it to the Old Man Yowie. We're giving it specifically to Mr. Smiley and Mr. Frowny, who I wish would get back together But, I guess they're just old man Yowie exes. So sad.
Yeah. And now for our question.
Have you ever asked a machine for your future?
I swear that I've done one of those go to the I've done one of those future machine things as a gimmick once, mainly because I like big. So and I think it only printed out some generic reply of like, oh, the future looks bright or whatever the fuck it was. But still, I would say yes.
I don't recall if I have. Like, I mean, I've gotten like fortune cookies, but I don't think I've ever actually seen a Zoltar machine. Or if I have, I don't think I've actually inserted a coin. So I cannot say that I have. But I do find it interesting. I would if I saw one again.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
All right. Charlie, thanks for making a podcast with me.
Robert, thank you for making a podcast with me. And as always, remember, fuck fascism.
Fuck fascism. And also, if every podcast were perfect,
we wouldn't have the bits.
Bye.
Bye.
You can follow this podcast socials at thebitssupod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send a message to our dime line through thebitssupod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/thebitsu. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about Steven Universe, or whatever else. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Steven's Room, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with Steven in some way. No promises.
You can check out our merch store, The Bits SU, on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie, me. Or if you cannot do that or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. It really helps. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. You can also hear my voice on 2 other podcasts. I co-host another podcast on the network with Ray called Of the Eldest Gods, where we talk about the mythology book series by Rick Riordan, starting with Percy Jackson. I also co-host a podcast with my buddy Ethan called Mysteries in the Machine, where we talk about all things Scooby-Doo.
You can find me, Robert, at the Damn Meme page on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok. If you want to hear more from me, check out my YouTube channel, also called the Damn Meme page, where I make videos mainly about Percy Jackson, but also sometimes other fun stuff. If you want to find me elsewhere in the podcast verse, you can also tune into my podcast, The Pit Crew, a show dedicated to dissecting the HBO Max medical drama, The Pit. The Bits is proud to be a part of Deus Ex Media, which features great podcasts like Content and Capable that follow Sam as he tries to figure out what it truly means to adult.
Have you ever gotten so distracted in Stardew Valley that you forgot to sleep? Have you realised that you have a whole room in your house full of dolls? Or have you even bored your friends to sleep talking about your passion? Well then, Content Capable is the podcast for you. Join me, Sam, as I chat to people passionate about what they do, asking questions about how they fell in love with their passion, what they do, and how it interacts with their day-to-day lives. Catch the podcast every Monday as I find out what makes someone tick, all while gleaning interesting and insightful life lessons along the way. There'll be laughs, a bit of crying, a whole lot of conversations, and we learn just a little bit more about the world around us.
Dave X Media.